So my next one is, I actually don't need to draw for this, is all about knowing where you want to go. So for instance, I speak to a lot of business leaders, MDs, senior managers, etc., that might have had a tough time at COVID. They're looking at actually how do they take the business forward and what do they do next. But one of the classic issues and challenges that you always have is that everyone might want to solve operational problems and sell more, etc. But this becomes especially more poignant as you get a little bit older. But actually, it's always really important to know where you're aiming for, if that makes sense. So for instance, if you have, I joke with people that I have a goal that I want to work 4 days a month. That's my dream, where actually I get to the course to a point where I come in, I do my live streams, we do the live classroom sessions, and I really enjoy it. But actually, if I have 1 million users on the platform who've paid for membership, that will cover my expenses, etc., so that I can live the dream. So almost in many ways, everything that I try and do, I always have the joke, the 4 days a month goal in mind to really help launch the course, do everything I possibly can to serve the audience, help them answer their questions, etc. But I don't lose sight of that. And the reason why I wanted to kind of mention it is that you also find the same with businesses, and especially so if you have bigger businesses which actually have staff. And the reason why that's really important to kind of consider is that you could have a £5 million business now with 40 staff, and you might make a profit, you might not, but it's almost, you have ambitions to, in theory, grow the business, make more money. But the question is that if you are, say, 50 or 55 or 60, and you at some point want to retire and have an exit because you might have a lifestyle goal that you're after or whichever, it's really important to plan for that and build for that right from the start or as soon as you get someone involved. Because what you often find is that you have the MD at the top they might be the founder and the owner of the business, but actually they might have ambitions to actually exit and sit on a beach or work 4 days a month. And what often happens is that they're so entrenched in the business and working away that we can actually go in, help build the business, increase sales. But what you're essentially doing is actually making the machine bigger. And I always joke that it's the bigger a business, the bigger the mouth to feed. But the important point is the owner, if they know that they want to retire in 4 years' time, you would actually start to look at your succession planning and your org charts, and you look at a whole different facet of the business that likewise, if they actually want to sell the business at a certain point as well, you kind of need to start planning that years in advance. So the same is true with your career. And actually I had a chat with someone yesterday that they in the past had tried to actually plan their career, achieve a certain goal, and it worked, which was fantastic. They actually achieved that, and the point is, when you actually strategically know what your next step is, so you might want to become marketing director for an international company, say. If you actually plan that out, and we can cover this all kind of in the roadmap, we can then actually start to consider, what knowledge do you need? How should you dress? Where do you need to network to get to know these people? But actually, you're planning your activity, your lead actions to achieve the goal, is where actually to just blindly go ahead in your career and just keep doing the same stuff with the blind hope of achieving the goal. You're kind of shooting in the dark. So it was just something that came up this week that I wanted to kind of share that I thought was worth mentioning. Hi, Simon. Hi, Simon. No, I really appreciate I think there's a slight time delay when they come up. But no, you are right. Yeah. Listen to Simon Hodgkins. When you have the goal of what you want to try to achieve, you have to keep that in mind and build towards it. And the point or the comment was more just a lot of people don't, and it's an easy trap to fall into. So it's just something I wanted to touch on.